Buffalo and Ohio. Buffalo, 3-point road favorites in this game, 58.5 the total in this one. I jumped on this line right away. And it's a good thing I did. It's A, I like the Buffalo side. And B, I said when this line was 1.5 yesterday, I'm like, this line's got to go up. It has to. Buffalo is the better of these two teams, or at least in my opinion, they are. Now, it's always, these early week games, you're going on the road. They're never easy, but I just think that Buffalo is a better football team. And this is no disrespect to Ohio. They've won 3 in a row. They've actually covered 4 in a row. But you look at who they beat up. They beat Akron, not the greatest team in this conference. Western Michigan's had a bit of a disappointing season. The Northern Illinois win was surprising, but we got the friggin' wool rug pulled out from under us here. I did in that Northern Illinois-Ohio game, and I was livid. Rocky Lombardi was supposed to play in that game. I was on Northern Illinois. Last minute, right before kickoff, the same bullshit I got screwed on with Cam Rising the other night with Utah against Washington State. We find out he's not playing. So all this nonsense too, college football, and they want their piece of the pie when it comes to betting. Well, then put out a mandatory injury report an hour or two before the game, if you're that into it and you're that supportive of the industry. Good luck with that. It'll never happen. But I mean, they talk out of both sides of their mouth with that. But that's another story. But yeah, that was one of those situations where you're just victimized by the late injury report. We think Lombardi was going to play against Ohio. He doesn't play. It ends up being Justin Lynch at quarterback, and he was terrible. He only had 50% completions, 110 passing yards. So that's the win that it makes it look like, wow, Ohio is playing pretty. They just beat Northern Illinois. Yeah, they beat him without Lombardi, and the other quarterback couldn't play, Justin Lynch. He was awful. So you cannot put as much stock into that quality of that win for Ohio, in my opinion, against Northern Illinois. You can't. Meanwhile, look at this Buffalo freight train here, Conor Mack. 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread, their last 5 games. The offense is a machine right now. Cole Snyder is leading this offense with great confidence in the passing game. They've got a great running back tandem right now in Ron Cook Jr., Mike Washington. They are doing significant damage on the ground. And when you look at the matchup here against Ohio, they don't stop the pass, they don't stop the run. And Buffalo's a lot more balanced this year. They're throwing the ball a lot more because I think they've got confidence in Snyder, maybe even more than they had with Van Treese, the previous quarterback. And they are a much more balanced pass-run offense. And Ohio's struggling to stop both. Meanwhile, you look at the Ohio offense. They are certainly better throwing the football with Curtis Rourke. They've struggled to run it, but Buffalo's strength is against the pass. So Ohio's offensive strength may not come through here against what is the strength of the Buffalo defense, which is stopping the pass. They're a very good secondary. I think it's a good matchup for Buffalo. I think they're flat out personnel-wise the better team. And at 3 or less, it's moved up to 3. I don't know if I'd lay a lot more than 3, but as long as it doesn't go above this number, I like the Bulls here to get the win. And this is probably another game where I'd have to lean a little bit toward the over just because of the potency of these two teams. I mean, you're seeing Buffalo put up 30s every week, and you've seen some games where Ohio against the better offenses, they've gotten ripped apart. I don't put too much stock into them only giving up 17 to Northern Illinois or 14 to Western Michigan. Those offenses can't hold a candle to Buffalo. And Northern Illinois didn't have Lombardi in that game. So, again, you can't put too much credit to Ohio's defense. So I like the Bulls, and I like the over here as well, but I like the Buffalo side more. Conor Mack, Buffalo, Ohio.
Yeah, we got to check, what's going on, in this game. What the weather is. Obviously, it's getting a little colder, especially in these MAC games slightly. I knew you'd bring that up, Dave. I wore this for you, my man. So that's just for you. Real quick. Yeah, but I think Buffalo might be better, but laying 3 on the road, man, I don't think so. I think this game's going to be tight. You mentioned it, though. Buffalo's going to run it. Ohio's going to throw it. Rourke's been the best in the MAC, basically. His passer rating and everything else, playing more like his brother. So they need to run it here. I don't know if they will too much. You talked about being the strength of Buffalo, their secondary, but I see a close one. So when I see a close one, home dog, I lean to Ohio here. It's not crazy, but that'd be it. And I'm going to wait on the total. These totals, waiting all week has been better for me on a lot of these totals. In some of these early games, waiting a few days.